Have you ever wondered what it'd feel like to maybe just blow up your life a little bit, but in a good way, to get to the goals and the places that you really want to achieve? Well, today we're going to talk with somebody who's actually done that, had a great life here in Dallas, but had a yearning and a feeling in their hearts to return to their home state of New Mexico. So stay tuned for Rhonda Headley and hear her journey and her story of how she blew up her life a little bit, but landed exactly where she needed to be. This time on Crushing It With Your Tribe. Stay tuned.
As a Texas realtor, Robin McCoy is in the unique position to meet and know so many different people in a wide range of industries. These people are her tribe, and she leverages them not only to help her business, but to help theirs as well. Welcome to Crushing It With Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. Here is your host, Robin McCoy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crushing It With Your Tribe. And today, I'm excited. We have Rhonda Headley on with us today, and we're going to talk about just really her path to the dream job that she always wanted, what she's doing now, and kind of how she got there, because I think there's always a journey from where you are and where you want to be. And just going to talk to Rhonda a little bit about how she got where she is. So Rhonda, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
So let me give you a little background on Rhonda. She is an environmental graphic designer and a signage expert. Her background in construction, sculpture, and graphic design adds a unique qualification and expertise to her design work. She has spent her life examining and redesigning the built environment around her. Rhonda possesses a diverse set of skills and experiences in construction, real estate, sculpture, and graphic design, which make her an accomplished environmental graphic designer and signage expert. Throughout her career, Rhonda has successfully developed signage programs for various projects, including multifamily, single-family communities, offices, hotels, and cities across the United States. So, first question, Rhonda, is what the heck is an environmental graphic designer and signage expert?
Yeah, so the easiest way to talk about it is when you're in the airport or you're in a hospital, how do you navigate it? You look at the signs, and those signs are very thought out. You know, how often do you say, yes, the restroom's this way, yes, your gate's this way, and that whole thing. How do you exist in a built environment and feel comfortable and be able to navigate to get to where you're going?
So those aren't just hung up haphazardly. There's really actually thought behind that.
Yeah, there is a method, and so I interface with architects and just experiential folks, and it's all about the human experience, and you can be a good experience or it can be bad. I think we've all been in really badly designed airports and hospitals, and it's super difficult. Yeah.
When you're standing there going, all right, left or right, where am I going? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Who knew that there is actually some thought put behind that, or at least there's supposed to be, right? Maybe it doesn't always happen, but there should be some actual science behind that sort of thing. Well, I met Rhonda because she was living here in Dallas, and she is a real estate agent, also licensed in New Mexico, and she was one of the agents in our office. And then I knew that she had moved back to New Mexico, which is where she is from. And I was triggered by her because she went to work for Meow Wolf, which I'm a big fan of Meow Wolf. And for those of you that don't know, you'll need to Google it, and you'll need to go to their website because I can't explain it here. Maybe Rhonda can explain it. But it is an art installation, and there's 4 or 5 of them around the United States. And I've now been to 3, and one recently opened this past summer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that's really kind of where the idea of this podcast, this episode came to be. And then I learned a little bit more about Rhonda, that this is her dream job, but it took her a while to get to her dream job. And so I wanted to talk about that very thing. Like, one, how is this your dream job, and what did it take to get there? I mean, you're a real estate
Mhm.
agent, you're a graphic designer. How does that get you to where you are?
Yeah, yeah. It's a winding path. So my whole life knew I wanted to build things, and I thought that graphic design would get me there. And so I've got a BFA in graphic design from ENMU in Port Dallas, and I moved to Dallas and tried out a bunch of things. I did print, I did web, and found myself in environmental graphic design, doing signage for multifamily. And so I've built a whole career in mostly multifamily and, single family development. So when a new subdivision's going in and you have those directional signs when you're driving, and it's a different scale than if you're, walking a multifamily building or you're
Sure.
driving. So I built a whole career doing that. And I kind of hit the top of, my earning potential as a graphic designer doing that. And so, exploring other things led me to real estate, and love real estate. I love negotiating. I love the research that goes into it. I'm a CMA master. I love to look at the data. And so my clients in real estate tend to be like engineers. I'm a very data forward kind of person, which doesn't really align with most graphic designers. Most graphic
Right.
designers want to, I hate to say it, but we make pretty things. We make information easy to understand so that people aren't overwhelmed. And in signage, that's what I do. I help guide people through spaces. And as a real estate agent, also did the same thing. How do you
Right.
guide people through the process of buying a home? And my wife and I wanted to move back to New Mexico. And, when you're a realtor, you are self-employed. And, moving
That's a whole
states.
other conversation, right?
Yes, yes. So moving states meant that I needed to get something. So we were going to sell our house in Dallas and buy something new in Santa Fe. And my wife couldn't, we need both incomes. And so moving markets meant that um, I needed a salary because,
Right.
being an agent in Dallas for 3 years, had the money, was making good money, but that doesn't translate when you change markets.
And it doesn't
So then I
translate
was
into a loan necessarily in a whole new
right,
environment, right?
right. Yeah. How do they know that I'm going to succeed as well as I did in Dallas? Um, so I started to look into, well, should I do graphic design? Should I lean on my construction experience? And I was always going to still be a realtor. It's a passion of mine. But I saw that my Meow Wolf was looking for an environmental graphic designer to join the visual development group at Meow Wolf. And I'm like, well, that's totally my skill set. And I was like, I don't know, like it's Meow Wolf, it's huge. At that time, they just had 4 exhibits, I guess, no, 3, Santa Fe, Vegas, and Denver. And they were
Mhm.
working on opening the North Texas one. And so I put in my application and I honestly just kind of, I need to do something. We're going to leave Texas. We want to move back to New Mexico, have nieces and nephews we want to be close to. So it was, emotional.
Sure.
Yeah, so did it, and it took 4 months and 5 interviews, and I got the position.
Got the gig,
And
man.
yeah, yeah, and so then my wife had to find work out here, and I worked remote for a while, and then we were able to move out here.
Yeah. So did you know about Meow Wolf before? Were you familiar with? I mean, they're based out of Santa Fe, so you probably had
Yeah.
some attachment there or something.
So, yeah, so when I got married in 2020, we came to Santa Fe for our honeymoon and experienced Meow Wolf for the first time, and that
Okay.
started an obsession. And I've
It
been
is a
to the
little bit of an
mall.
obsession, isn't it? You just
Yeah,
get kind of
yeah.
about it.
Yes, it's so. I mean, At Meow Wolf, we want people to explore. We want people to touch everything. We want them to open every door and feel free to do that. And that's what drew me to it. Because when you go to an art museum, you don't get to touch it, you don't get to experience it. And here is this exhibit that you can walk through, climb through things, climb on things, and touch everything. And you're welcome to do it. They want you, and there's no path you're supposed to go. You build your own adventure, and that really aligns with the kind of person I am. And yeah, so an obsession started, and I started looking for work and was like, heck yeah, I'm going to try to get this job.
But and when you're talking about how just the goals that we have, sometimes we don't even know what they are, right? So you and your wife are in Dallas. You want to get back to New Mexico for a variety of reasons, and it's like, okay, what do I do? This is my goal. I'm an independent contractor, which nobody believes you can ever replicate your success somewhere else, right? No matter how much money or whatever you're making. So now you've got to say, either we go and we rent and I have another 2 years of income, or I go find a job.
Which was
until
hard.
Such time. Yeah, right? I got to go back and get a job.
Right.
And, you've already said you maxed out your earning potential with what you were doing before. So now is it, it's decisions, right? It's am I going to, do I make less money? How long do I want to do this for? What is this going to bring us? Is she working, right? Did she have a job yet? No. Okay. I got one. Now you got to get one.
Right.
Because we need both incomes, right? So what was that? I mean, how did you keep, I guess, moving forward and looking at how are those decisions made, I guess? Are you looking to buy or sell a home in the bustling DFW area? Look no further, because I am Robin McCoy, your trusted real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. For over 15 years, I've been helping buyers and sellers navigate the real estate market here in DFW. So whether you're looking for your dream home or aiming to sell your property for the best price, relax. I got this. As a seasoned professional, I'll guide you through the entire process, ensuring a smooth and stress-free experience. I understand that buying or selling a home can be a significant decision. That's why I pride myself on providing exceptional customer service. I'll be with you every step of the way, answering your questions and addressing your concerns. So why take a chance with just any real estate agent? Choose me, Robin McCoy, the professional who has proven my excellence in helping both buyers and sellers in the DFW area for over 15 years. Call me today at 214-226-3770 or visit my website at robinmccoyrealty.com. Let's make your DFW real estate dreams come true. Relax. I got this. How are those decisions made, I guess?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's financial. It's really, and talking with your partner. We had a lot of discussions about, are we going to do this? Like we owned a house in Dallas. We had just renovated it, a beautiful mid-century ranch in Oak Cliff, and loved it. Beautiful yard. My wife redid the landscaping. So do we want to leave this? And reality is we want to be close to family. We had both spent so many years being 10 plus hours away from family, which means you don't get to see them but once a year, twice a year.
Yeah.
And, other things to do with the political climate in Texas. We were like, okay, we're going to do this. And, what do we need to be able to do that? And well, the first thing was, Rhonda, you're going to have to get a job because your success in Dallas is not going to translate. I could build success in Santa Fe, but I would have to start from scratch. And no mortgage lender is going to say, yeah, you're really great in Dallas, but here's
$500,000.
Yeah. Right. And so we came up with what we had to each make for jobs. And if I'm honest, Meow Wolf was just going to be a means to an end for me. It was going to be, I didn't want to do the job again, be stuck to a desk, and I didn't want that lifestyle again.
Right.
Being a graphic designer, your butt is in your chair and you are working, your wrist hurt, your back hurts, because the job is sitting at the computer staring at the screen all day. And I didn't really want to go back to that, but I have fallen completely even more in love with Meow Wolf than I even thought I would. Great people, great benefits. The pay is really good, and my team is just amazing. So I was getting all that working remote in Dallas, and so when my wife finally found a job that fit our needs and her skill set, we were like, let's do it. And we hired some people to come and pack our house, and sent a semi full of our stuff to a rental in Santa Fe, and my wife started working, and then I sold our house in Dallas, and we just closed on a house in Santa Fe last month, and we're renovating it.
Yeah, so you're just doing all that again.
Yes, yeah, but it's a beautiful place on open space in a great neighborhood. I've got mountain views, nice. Like breathtaking.
So here you sit now, right? So now it's November, and I know about moving closer to family. That's why I'm in Dallas. 23 years ago, my sister started having children, and I went, they cannot grow up without me.
Totally. That's how I feel
here I
too.
am. Right?
Yeah.
So here I am, and they're all grown up now, and here I am. So to be sitting there now, and you said you still have your real estate license, and you're continuing, you're licensed in New Mexico, and you want to continue to do that, and yet now your means to an end is different, right? I mean, it got you to where you wanted to be, but now maybe that goal has changed a little bit.
It sure has. And I had talked long hours with my real estate coach about, I've got all these things and I only have so many hours in the day. Yeah. And so real estate's still there, but it has taken a back burner. And that was a hard decision to make, because I worked so hard to build a career in Dallas, and all the contacts that I made and all the work I put in. And it's been hard to say, actually, I'm going to just step back and I'm going to do friends and family and referrals. And that's what I've been doing real estate wise in Santa Fe. And it's fine, because I work for Meow Wolf and I'm working on new exhibits. And it's really great. Like, I'm working on Houston that opens next year. And then future exhibits that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Oh. So, okay, let's take a second. I want to explain from the inside, because I try and explain it and people just think I'm crazy. Explain what Meow Wolf is. You did mention that it is an art installation, that you're encouraged to touch it all, create an adventure. But what does that mean?
Well, there's a story. There's we have a team of writers who write a whole story that we build an exhibit around. And we have these overarching themes that we work with. And so, like, I don't want to give any spoilers away if people haven't been, but like in Santa Fe, you arrive and it's an old bowling alley that's been turned into this, and we like to reuse. Our only exhibit that we've built from scratch is in Denver, that we built from the ground up. We really prefer to be environmentally friendly and reuse old buildings. So you get in there and it's a house and something's not right, something happened. And so you can dive into the mystery and read all the pieces of paper, which we've all created. So my department creates all these assets, the newspaper, the letters, the posters on the wall, like the wallpaper, like it is all created by us to build this scene. So it's kind of like theater too.
Yeah, totally.
But you can be on the stage, you can just immerse yourself. And if you're not into stories, if you're not into mysteries, you don't have to dig in. You can walk around the house and experience it and find portals to different universes and just experience beautiful art for art's sake. But there is a storyline that runs through all of them that keeps people coming back because they want to learn the mystery, or they walk through it and say, that was some cool artwork, which is fine because whatever you like or connect to is fine. And we don't want to put people in boxes.
Well, and I think every time you go, it's a little bit different, right? It's almost like, because if you go with this friend, then that's going to be that kind of way. And if you go with that friend, it's going to be that kind of way. And if you go by yourself, it's going to be that kind of way. And, you know, and it's usually, you know, I mean, you're not the only one in there. So there could be another 100 people or more in there at the same time. So maybe you can't go to the left because it's too crowded. So you go to the right. And next time you go to the left and it tells a different story, or it tells it in a different way, or you see something you didn't see before. So it's just very, it's just very different. It's very different. I love it.
Yeah, it is completely imaginative. We want people to forget where they are. When they, you know, when you go to the movies and you come out and it's night and you're like, whoa, like I was like, a movie can transport you somewhere else. And this is a fully interactive 2-story, 3-story place that you could spend. My first time, we spent 3 hours in Meow Wolf the first time I went. When we went to Denver, we spent 5 hours in Denver. And you don't have to do that. But I am so into the story, so into the characters. And so I think it's all created for you to explore. And
I think that's really cool that you are on the team that creates that wallpaper that if you really look at it, like I got wallpaper behind me, those are houses clearly. But sometimes in the wallpaper, like the one here in North Texas, you look at it and you think it's this tall wallpaper, and then you look closer and it's not quite that, you know, and I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. But it's things like that that I think is really cool that you guys, along with the artists, create this environment. Like you said, it's like theater.
Yeah, it is.
So if you were going to tell somebody that, you know, is doing well and successful, but they want to make the big change in their life, right? Everything's fine where we are. We just finished renovating our beautiful home. We are happy. We've got jobs we love. We are experiencing success, and yet something's missing. What would you say? I mean, because it's kind of like blowing up your life a little bit, right? I mean, it is, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it is blowing up your life. What would you say to people that are in that situation?
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the 4th Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
What would you say to people that are in that situation?
I mean, you need to talk about it and I guess if it's just you, I guess that makes it easier. If it was just me, I wouldn't have waited to move.
Right.
I would have just done it. But We talked a lot, and this was a 2-year process.
Okay, so this wasn't wake up one day and we're going to, let's move it back to New Mexico and let's sell the house and then we'll do this and that and the other thing. It was a 2-year conversation.
Yes. And looking, and really my wife was interviewing for jobs first, and we just weren't finding anything that made enough for us to make the move. And then I ended up being the one to land a job first, and that's what pushed us over the edge. So we didn't just list our house and figure it out. We were very methodical, and we had a lot of discussions.
Sure.
And I knew in my heart that I needed to be back in New Mexico. I needed to be back with my nieces and nephews and close to family. And yeah, that meant I had to get a job. Then that's what I did.
Well, and
Yeah,
it was just
so
kind
lots
of
of
by luck
discussions.
that you found the job that, you know, like you said, you told me we were talking about this a bit ago, is I found my dream job and I didn't mean to.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's just following your heart. Like there was something inside me that knew I needed to be back in New Mexico. And I
Right.
knew it needed to be Santa Fe. It wasn't going to be Albuquerque. It wasn't going to be back in Raton. I needed to be in Santa Fe. My heart was calling me to Santa Fe. And I listened and I looked. And sure enough, there's my dream job that I didn't realize was going to be. And it is. And it's, you know, you have to be open to the possibilities so that when they're there, you can grab them.
Well, and that's, you know, it's one of the authors that I follow. His name is John Acuff, and he's just written a book called All It Takes Is a Goal, right? So first of all, you got to have the goal. I want to move to Santa Fe, right? That's where my heart is. That's where I think we need to be. And be open to, you know, like you said, she was supposed to be getting, you know, she was looking for the job first. And that just wasn't panning out. It wasn't going to pay enough to make the move that fit. I mean, and I'm sure it's what she wants to do too, right? You know, I mean, it's her skill set. It's her goal to work in in an environment that she enjoys. So maybe, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, let me start looking too. And then you see Meow Wolf and you go, oh my gosh, what a great opportunity. I would love to work for them for a little bit to get us to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, sometimes then the goal changes, right?
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you listen to your gut, you look at the environment, you talk about it, and you be open to the different paths that may be in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, I could have applied at other places. There's other signage places in Santa Fe and Albuquerque. I could have gone back to print. But those all had salary caps that I had already been through. That's what led me to real estate. So I knew I needed something more, something bigger. And Meow Wolf's big. We've got more than 1,000 employees and 4 open exhibits. Like we have an HR department. Like we're a full-on corporate environment.
For a bunch of artists that started out in Santa Fe because they wanted a place, they just wanted to create a place where they could express their own art. It's kind of morphed into a whole different animal, hasn't it?
It sure has. Yeah. And it's not the little artist collective that it used to be. But, you know, when there's investors and money, and, you know, you can't. And also, you know, coming from my signage world where life safety is a priority, you can't just have these exhibits where people can fall, can trip.
Right.
You know, once you invite the public in, you've got to have protections, and it turns it into a business. But I think that we always make sure that the art wins. We've got a great team of very passionate people who say, yes, I know that life safety stuff, but this is the story. This is the thing we're telling. This is what we want people to experience.
And then you work within the story to make sure nobody falls down those weird stairs.
Right. Yeah. How do we let them know that Yeah.
It's a weird staircase. Or yes, you can go through that dryer and you're going to end up in another world, but you're going to be on your hands and knees and you're going to drop. And I'm trying to entice people to go buy their tickets to Meow Wolf, because if you want to learn how to go through a portal, this is about the only place to do it.
Right. And everything could be a portal. I mean, there's closets, there's under the stair closet. I mean, there's fireplaces.
Yeah. And there's refrigerator doors, and there's ovens, and there's all kinds of stuff. It's just, I just find it fascinating. And I've taken a lot of friends there, and they all think I'm a little kooky, and that's okay. I don't think they love it as much as I do. I actually asked Meow Wolf when they were opening, like, do you guys have like a season pass at like Six Flags, so I could just buy it a little cheaper and I can go whenever I want to, like, run away from this world? And they told me no, and I was sad about that. They need a punch card or something.
Yeah, well, I would double check that. There might be something coming.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Rhonda, if as we wrap up here, if there was one thing that you would want to share with somebody, just kind of about anything really, but how we talked about, going from one place to the other and kind of blowing up your world, if you will, and getting to that happy place, what would you say? What would you tell somebody today if they're sitting there going, man, I wish I could do that?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is to slow down and sit with yourself and make sure you're listening to your own intuition, because you know what's right for you. And you just have to slow down and listen, and then follow that. Be open to the possibilities. They may not be what you thought they were going to be. We all have, or at least I have, this story of how my life's going to go. And it hasn't gone that way ever.
Shocker, right?
Yeah. But you can only see the possibilities if you listen to yourself and are open to them.
I love that. I think sometimes we all limit ourselves a little bit too much by what we think is supposed to happen versus what could happen and the possibilities that lie before us, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today, Rhonda. I love the story. I hope a few more people will go and check out Meow Wolf and see the amazing work that you guys do in putting all of this together. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fun. I think it's thought-provoking. I think it's all those things. So I'm glad you found that spot for yourself, because that is huge. That is huge.
Yeah, it makes work easy. It makes, because it doesn't feel like work. Because I get to build cool stuff and change people's worlds every day.
There you go. Build cool stuff. I love it. All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Crushing It With Your Tribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can hear all the cool things that the people I'm fortunate enough to know are doing. Tune in next time to Crushing It With Your Tribe.
Thanks for joining us for Crushing It With Your Tribe with Texas Realtor Robin McCoy. Check out all the show notes for contact information on Robin and her guests, and to access your free resources and information discussed on this episode. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation. Thanks again, and we will see you next time on Crushing It With Your Tribe with Robin McCoy.